Welcome back to the Live Greater podcast. Today we have on Heather Holmes. I'm excited because, as listeners may know, I traveled with my family for a year in a motorhome. And so that kind of brought my eye to Heather. She has lived in an Airstream for 3.5 years. Is that right?
Yeah, we lived in an Airstream for 3.5 years. Scaled Publicity for good to $1 million. I was dating, and then I went from dating to engaged to married to now we almost have 3 under 3. And then Rose, our youngest, who's almost 2, lived in the Airstream for about 4 months too.
Wow. But were you traveling after you got married, or was that
before? So we were in our Airstream from 2019 onward for 3.5 years, and our travel full-time started like January before like the pandemic hit.
Wow.
So our plans were definitely changed a bit, and that's like prior to going on the road, we knew every 2 weeks to be in a different city and all those things, because our intention was we wanted to figure out where we wanted to live and everything.
Okay.
And we still figured out where we wanted to live. We settled in North Carolina, but travel plans definitely changed.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
So what did you do before you were in your Airstream?
Yeah. So I started a company, Publicity for good, almost 8.5 years ago.
Okay.
Started it from my mom's basement. We do public relations, so we get people in the media. But I started it from my mom's basement 8.5 years ago. While I was building it, I was working at a gym called Lifetime Fitness. And I was just like, it was a minimum wage job, but I mean, I got to work out and I got a free gym membership, and it was fun. So I built the business, was there for 3.5 years, went to LA for a press tour for a client, and ended up staying. I was like 25 or 26 at the time, lived in Ohio for all those years, and I wanted a change of pace. Ended up moving to San Diego. Love the weather. Like, it's always like sunny and no rain and everything. But I met Austin, who was in the Navy at the time. And after he got out of the Navy in 2019, we were like, well, what are we going to do? Right? Like, he was from Florida. I was from Ohio. So we knew we wanted to figure out where we wanted to live. And for his last deployment, we spent about a whole year doing research, reading articles, watching all the YouTubers, making a decision, Airstream or RV, right? Chose the Airstream. And then May, right around Memorial Day, we went, there was like a 23-foot, I believe 2007 Airstream. We went and saw it. It was like, the price point was good. I mean, in San Diego, the prices were like double, right?
Wow.
And we're like, the price is good. Then we asked them, okay, like, what type of car or truck do you think we need to get? And they're like, okay, you really should have like a 2500. So like literally that day we bought a 2500 Ram truck.
Wow.
And our Airstream. In the fall, we sold both of our houses, and then we set on our path to figure out where was home, and then, scale the business.
Wow. So did you have a background in advertising?
So yeah, I worked at an advertising agency doing PR for 3.5 years. So that's really where I got my groundwork and learned everything.
Okay. And what is your focus? It's publicly for good. So yeah, the good word stands out, right?
So we partner with purpose-driven brands and people. We primarily work with natural products. So like brands you find out in foods, or people who are more holistic minded, but we also work with a bunch of entrepreneurs and nonprofits and just people who are trying to build a business, but also really make a difference.
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah. And so how was it in your Airstream? You said your business grew while you were in the Airstream. How did that work for you?
I mean, it was a mixture of, you don't have much distractions. We didn't have TVs. We only watched a little, TV on our computers. We worked all the time. There was really nothing else to do other than go to parks or go hiking. And I loved being in the outdoors, but it was a mixture of when you're in an RV or an Airstream, it is a simple life. You don't have much, right? You don't have these elaborate meals. It's very simple. And then when COVID happened, everything was closed. So we didn't really have that many choices of places to go. So we really just hunkered down and worked in our Airstream, building our future.
So that concentration of just dedication time that you were forced into kind of became a blessing, it sounds like.
Oh, such a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. So did your husband do the similar stuff beforehand as well? Like,
So,
did you kind of train him?
yeah. Well, he went to school for business and then
Okay.
he graduated from the University of Central Florida and then enlisted in the Navy because he wanted to serve. And then after he was in the Navy, I mean, his business background and everything in logistics, he came on and really is the reason we scaled to 1 million because he's way better at finances and logistics and hiring and casting the vision. So we really, focus on what our strengths are and what we're good at.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sounds like, yeah, you took your strengths and built a great team.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So what are some things that you could share with us about the advertising part of it for, your focus? Why, I guess,
Yeah.
because you love the outdoors, is that where your focus is for those types of companies that are more natural based?
So I got my start working with food brands. So that was really my start. And then over time, like growing up with a dad who was passionate about gardening and, and then like over time, like learning, I went to the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. So I learned some things there. And just like over the years with everything going on, I really learned to like make my own choices, not go with the flow of what everyone else is saying and doing. And then, I started on the path of having kids, and then I started having all my babies at home with home births. So it's just
For you.
been like a personal journey of, wanting to learn more about like, non-corporate, non-structured, like more holistic, more herbal, right? Like all those like better ways that are good for you.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I bet does that play a role like with your family life too and your children?
Oh, it does. So we have where we live, we're at 2 acres. We have 22 acres as well on a separate piece of land. But I mean, whenever we can, we go outside. We're barefoot. We have chickens. Like we don't give our kids sugar or anything. Like I did go to a birthday party recently, and it was a little girl's second birthday. And I let Rose have like a bite of her first cupcake. But I mean, like those things are not like all the time things. And I know a lot of parents have that be, and that's okay. But yeah, it's like very intentional. Like we only give her like meat and cheese and like real food. You know, so yeah.
Do you garden then as well?
Yes, but I have to plant probably tonight my tomato plants. And I'm not as good as I want to be, but with running a business, um, it's hard.
Yeah, how do you balance everything like with the family and the business?
Yeah, I kind of take it day by day. And I feel like on Saturdays is more of like my go deep family day, deep cleaning and organization day. So I mean, Monday through Friday is full work and business and then taking care of the kids. Where then like on the weekend, I'll like go deep on like the other things that I need to do or catch up on dishes or those things.
So how old's your oldest?
So Rose will be 2 June 15th, and then Benaya will be 1 June 30th. And then
Okay.
I'm 33 weeks pregnant. So
Oh, congratulations.
thank you. So yeah, we want a big family. But yeah, we'll have 3 under 3 soon.
Wow. That's
But
exciting.
we'll have 2 under 2 really soon. But yeah. No, it will have 3 under 2. Yeah.
3 under 2, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun. So do you have a team that help you with everything? I mean, if your business has been scaling.
Yeah. I could not do what I do without the team behind me. So yes, there is a team fully supporting me. I think we're a full-time team of 35 all across the US, Brazil, and the Philippines. And
Wow.
so much that they do that I'm not good at, or, like I'm fully supported, which I'm very grateful for.
That's awesome. So it sounds like, I mean, it's good that you realize your weaknesses and you have others help and support you so it functions well.
Yeah.
That's some people want to be in control of every bit. And I think that makes it harder.
Yeah. I want to do less. I want, you know, to give more things away for sure.
That's good. So how does the publishing part work for a company?
Yeah. So we work with brands to really build out your story first and figure out what are your business goals. And then we take your business goals and look at areas of opportunity to build your personal brand, build a community, and reach new audiences. Then we look at trending topics, what's happening in the news. And then from there, we look at awareness months, and then we start pitching you. So we really build you as an expert. And then on the flip side, the benefits for you is that you're going to get content, you're going to get backlinks, you're going to get traffic, you're going to be able to add all the Asina media logos to your website, and you're seen as an authority, right? Like I was just on talking to a client, and she was talking about how her business grew by 40% from being in the media and doing PR.
Wow.
That's a mixture of people reaching out, her confidence increasing, increasing her pricing significantly. Prior to working with us, she was charging below 1,000. Now she's, charging anywhere from 1 to 10,000. So her business grew. She got leads, and it's her legacy. There are all these stories out there about her and how she's making a difference. So it's exciting.
Yeah, I bet that's rewarding for you as well to see them grow.
Yeah, it's so rewarding.
Can you give some examples of types of products that people do that you work with?
Yeah, it's everything from let's see, like my favorite brand we worked with for a while, they was Ecolips, and they made the first organic like non-plastic lip balm. So
Hmm.
they have really amazing lip balm. Um and like we drink so much milk in this household. We love milk, but there's an incredible dairy-free coffee creamer called Nut Pods that doesn't have like any sugar in it.
Hmm.
So that's the coffee creamer that I use because I love flavor in my coffee, but all the other coffee creamers are horrible when you look at the ingredients. So that's another brand. A kombucha brand that had an exit, but just a lot of really fun brands that I enjoy, consuming as well.
Yeah, so you have to taste the products, use the products before you use
Yes.
them.
Yeah.
So with all that milk, do you guys have a cow?
No, we want to. We've talked about it for sure.
Yeah. Mini cows are good. They're smaller, not as much, but you might need all the milk if you drink so much milk. So
Yeah, for sure.
that's good. So can you, as a mom,
Hmm.
kind of walk us through your day of how you're with family and then business, how that looks for you, like compared to even traveling, how was that? And then now that you're in a sticks and bricks.
Yeah. So, I mean, I wake up throughout the night, getting Ben his bottle. The kids do like to sleep in typically until 10. So they'll both get up. I'll get their bottles, change their diapers, typically give Rose some breakfast. We try to go outside with them first because they love being outside. And then from there, like my office, like is connected to the family room. We're in a ranch. So I mean, I can work and watch them, but like they play so much together. So they're very good at independent play, or, sparingly, probably like I'll put an hour on of like Veggie Tales and they'll fall asleep. But I like watch them. Now, sometimes it gets hard because they'll both come up to my gate and like cry and like want me. And they don't do it to my husband, but they just like stand there and cry. So that's hard when I'm on calls and everything.
Yeah,
Um,
mom's the go-to.
yeah, but like we're with them 24. Like we're in the process of like getting an au pair or help. But we really are like working like with them 24/7. So, I'm thankful for that, and that I wanted, our kids to be with us.
Yeah, that's good. And how was that when you were traveling? You had only one?
Yeah, and she was only like 3 or 4 months old, and we weren't
Okay.
traveling in the Airstream, in the city we're in now at an RV park, and we got an office because we needed to work somewhere other than the Airstream, right?
Hmm.
Wasn't that hard at all. Like we were just stationed, and I mean it was easy.
Yeah. So do you have a desire to travel again?
Oh, for sure, but probably not until like next year. But yeah, I definitely want to take the Airstream out and take the kids. I think it would be so fun.
Yeah. You planning on long term or just short trips?
We've talked about like the van life and like all those things, but we want to go to like South America and like go to a lot of different places. So we're definitely looking at international longer trips, short weekend trips, everything really.
That's fun. Yeah, start them young.
Yeah, yeah.
That's good. So how is it difficult for people that you work with? Is it difficult for you to get them into media? Like if they're maybe for a small town or something, does it depend on their location?
Mhm.
What aspects come into play with how you do the media for them or the publicity?
So it really doesn't matter what town you live in because there's so many producers that would love to have you on just for a Zoom interview virtually. Everything is still virtual.
Mhm.
If you live in a city that has media, sometimes it's easier because we can pitch, um, a hometown story. But it really looks at your goals and what you're trying to accomplish. But really, everything is virtual.
Hmm.
So like could show up for your interview.
So it could be if I live somewhere and then it could be a Zoom call for a different state. Is that what you're saying? Or you still
Yeah.
want to stay local? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We have clients that live in Florida and are doing Zoom interviews in Florida and in Atlanta and doing interviews in LA. But it's really based on the story and the news hook and the producer's interest.
Okay. And your product, I guess, too. What,
Yeah,
who that serves.
correct.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you have any other suggestions or things that can help people to just as a mom and a business juggle those things or about advertising?
Yeah. I'm starting to get better about like taking time in the morning for like me. So like that's the first thing that I like try to do is like do a devotion or something. And I have to do it before the kids are up. Otherwise, like it won't get done. So that's probably the first thing. And then when it comes to advertising and getting in the media, podcasts are so accessible. There's so many websites you can write for. And like local media is low hanging fruit for you to reach out to. I've seen it honestly be one of the fastest ways to grow your business and your community and get in front of new audiences. So it's something that I've seen people do even if they just have an Instagram account.
Hmm.
So it's pretty accessible to you.
So yeah, so it's doable for even moms, right?
Oh, we work with so many moms. So, and there's a story there because then we do stories on Mother's Day or how this mom is building her business and all those things, or how a Texas mom is building a business. So,
That's cool. That's awesome.
yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you, Heather, for joining me today.
Yes.
And this is so good. And good luck with all your farm and all that you're doing and traveling. It's so fun. And I think your kids are just, by your example, just will learn a lot too. And that's neat that you and your husband can work together.
Yeah. It's not always easy, but like it's real life, real conversations. The kids are seeing every moment of it, so it's like we're at a sweet stage now. Like before we eat, Rose will put her little hands out to pray, and like Rose loves having a little notebook to like write in, right? Like I'm like, wow, like they're watching what we're doing.
Yeah. And
So
before, yeah, it just made me think of how does it work with you and your husband? Can you go into a little bit about that? And I mean, your both parents of the same kids in the same household, but then just as spouses working together, doing business.
yeah, so we have mom and dad roles. So we have mom and dad roles in the business and mom and dad roles at home. And it's not necessarily, I mean, we're a very traditional household, but like in how it's run and how decisions are made. But there's things that I'm better at than he's better at. Like he's really good at logistics. Like for me, making an appointment is easy. So we made mom and dad roles based on like what tasks are easiest for us to do. Like he runs finances, like you know what I mean? Like I don't like, I don't like details. So we create mom and dad roles, but it's not necessarily based on like, well, you're the mom and you're the dad. So like I'll collect all the trash and then he'll take it out to the street on Thursday, right? Like he's in charge of laundry, but like if it's not done, I'll help and like we work together and we fold clothes. But it's not like, you know what I mean? It's like we're working together. Like if I see he's struggling or something, like I'll try to help too. But like that mom dad list and at least clarity of like who's owning it, right?
Yeah.
But then if it's not being owned, it's like, hey, you have that conversation. But I mean, it's hard and like scaling the business and having time with our kids and family is more important to me than doing dishes. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah.
And how did you initially have that conversation where you set up who's doing what, or just kind of evolved?
Oh yeah, it was like formal and it's like written down everything.
So it's in writing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but we totally need to update it.
Yeah,
we totally need to update it, but it's in writing.
That's good. Clear. Yeah, for both business and at home. I think that could be helpful both ways. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll probably do it for the kids in the future too, right? Like these are your roles, these are your roles, and
yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Heather. I appreciate you being with me. This has been good and fun talking to you, and just I look forward to seeing where you go on your farm and your business. That is so good, and travels too, right?
Yeah, I'm excited to get out again. Probably not for like 5 or 6 months, but the Airstream is here. I think we're gonna put our podcast equipment in it and use it as like our studio for a short bit.
Cool.
We'll never get rid of it. Too many memories.
Yeah, it's
in that.
You got the travel bug, so
yeah, it's the best.
Yeah. Well, good luck with your new baby too.
Thank you. They'll be here before we know it.